Welcome to Passport Studios. Today's episode is the story of the Ottoman Empire, an empire that didn't start with destiny or prophecy. It started as a small border tribe, living on the edge of much bigger, much older powers, basically minding its own business. Until it wasn't. And somehow, through ambition, organization, luck, and a shocking amount of patience, this tiny frontier group became one of the longest-lasting empires in human history. 6 centuries. Multiple continents, multiple religions, multiple languages. Most empires don't even make it past a few generations. The Ottomans said, let's make this a lifestyle. It all began around 1299 with one man, Osman I. No crown, no palace, no royal bloodline stretching back thousands of years. Just a leader of a small group of warriors living in Anatolia, right on the border between collapsing empires and contested land. This mattered, because borders are chaotic places. Rules are flexible, authority is negotiable, and ambition thrives where nobody's really in charge. Osman wasn't ruling a kingdom. He was leading a group of people who were good at fighting, good at surviving, and very good at taking advantage of opportunities. And opportunities were everywhere. Nearby powers were weakening. Old empires were tired. Defenses were stretched thin. Osman looked around and thought, why not us? And that question changed history. What really helped the Ottomans wasn't just leadership. It was geography. They sat right between Europe and Asia, which sounds nice and poetic, but practically speaking, it meant trade routes, silk, spices, gold, ideas, technology. Everything moving between East and West had to pass through their neighborhood. And where trade goes, money follows. But where money follows, conflict isn't far behind. Because controlling trade routes means controlling wealth, and controlling wealth means power. So the Ottomans didn't just inherit enemies, they attracted them. Everyone wanted a piece of that position. And the Ottomans responded by doing what they did best: fighting when necessary, negotiating when useful, and expanding when possible. Slowly, strategically, one step at a time. Here's where the Ottomans start to feel different from other empires. They weren't just conquerors, they were organizers. They didn't just take land and move on. They stayed, governed, and created systems. Administrative systems, legal systems, tax systems, military systems. This wasn't chaos. This was control. Every new territory wasn't just conquered. It was filed, categorized, and managed. Think less, burn everything down, and more, welcome to the empire. Here's your paperwork. And this approach mattered, because empires don't survive on conquest alone. They survive on administration. One of the most important parts of that system was the janissaries. These were elite soldiers, professionally trained, highly disciplined, loyal to the state, not individual warlords. And most importantly, they were paid. In a medieval world where many soldiers fought for land, honor, or obligation, the janissaries fought for a salary. Regular pay, clear hierarchy, strict training, which made them incredibly effective. While other armies argued, the janissaries marched. While others relied on feudal loyalty, the Ottomans built a professional military machine. This gave them a massive advantage, and it showed. Then comes the moment that changes everything. The year 1453. The target, Constantinople. A city so heavily defended that it was considered practically untouchable, protected by massive walls, backed by centuries of failed sieges. People believed Constantinople simply could not fall. The Ottomans disagreed. They brought new technology, weapons, and pressure, and eventually, the walls broke. Constantinople fell. And with it, the Ottomans didn't just conquer a city, they inherited a legacy. The city was a symbol that was now theirs. Leading this conquest was Sultan Mehmed II, young, highly educated, fluent in multiple languages, deeply aware of history and his place in it. He didn't see Constantinople as something to destroy. He saw it as something to transform. Under his rule, the city became Istanbul, a center of trade, culture, religion, politics. Mosques rose alongside ancient structures. Markets flourished. Scholars, artists, merchants, all drawn to the city. Istanbul became a true crossroads of the world. East met West, and neither wanted to leave. At its height, the empire reached its peak under Suleiman the Magnificent. And for once, history didn't exaggerate. Suleiman was a lawgiver. He reformed legal systems, strengthened administration, expanded borders. Under him, the Ottoman Empire stretched across Southeast Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. But what made his rule especially notable was balance. Military strength paired with legal order, expansion paired with governance, sword in one hand, law book in the other. That balance kept the empire stable for a long time. Another thing that helped the Ottomans survive so long? They didn't force uniformity. Different religions lived under Ottoman rule. Different communities governed themselves in many ways. As long as people followed the law and paid their taxes, they were largely left alone. This flexibility reduced rebellion. It made rule more practical than ideological. Was it perfect? No. Was it effective? Very. But no empire escapes time. Gradually, things began to slow. Other powers industrialized. New technologies emerged. Trade routes shifted. The Ottomans struggled to adapt quickly enough. Corruption crept in. Inefficiency grew. Military advantages faded. By the 1800s, European powers had a nickname for the empire: the sick man of Europe, which, historically speaking, is an incredibly rude way to describe a 600-year legacy. The final blow came with World War I. The empire, already weakened, couldn't survive the pressure. After the war, the Ottoman Empire collapsed. Borders were redrawn. A new republic emerged in modern Turkey. 6 centuries of rule ended. But empires don't disappear completely. The Ottoman legacy still lives on. In architecture, in food, in language, in politics, in culture. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next chapter of history.